All set? Jay? All set? Okay. All right. Open, entertain a motion to open?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it.
I apologize for the delay. Get as much of the form as we can. Paul, pass those cards back with you. For anybody that has not signed in, would you please fill out a card and sign it. Do we have a record of your attendance? In case you run out.
In case we run out.
Jason, I can just put a Charlie next to your name, so you're
So these
good.
all signed?
Oh, yeah, we need, I guess,
Or can I use this one?
more.
I've
There's one.
got at least one here.
Yeah. I think there's one here too, there's a couple here.
Okay, we have 3 regular members present at the present time. And 1 coming. So, Paul, would like to put you on board tonight.
Okay.
I have a motion from the board to do so.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Paul's on for the evening. Okay, tonight's agenda is we have the minutes to go through, 2 of them, and you've both been working on those already. Some unfinished business, Mr. Caldwell's, and the planning board rules. We have nothing specific on any new business, but we have several visitors this evening, so it'll be addressed as the time comes up. Okay? And that's all we have at the moment, which I think will be a plateful. Just to help me know what I'm doing this evening, I knew you was the first one here. Would you please introduce yourself and the reason you're here this evening?
Sure, my name is James Dupree, and I'm here regarding a possible subdivision on Old Ryfield Road.
On which road?
Old Ryfield.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry. And you're back?
I'm back.
Identify yourself, please, and
Jason Cadwallader, I'm here looking at possible renovations of a home on Milton 3 Ponds.
okay. And use that as part of our old unfinished business. And you are?
Hello, I'm Jen Kelty. I'm here to propose some landscape changes on property on Sewell Shores Road.
Okay. All right, just so you understand that there'll be a little bit before we get to the new business, so Mr. Caldwell, when the time comes up, we'll have first options, because he's been here before. Okay? All right. How are we coming with the minutes, gentlemen?
Slow but steady.
4-2 shouldn't take too long. 4-9, I'm sorry.
Right.
Is this window being open bottom anyone?
Pardon me?
Is this being open bottom anyone?
I think it's rather nice.
And his last name has been restored.
Set?
Yep.
I'll start with 4-2? 4-9, I'm sorry.
4-9, yes, 4-9 looks good.
Stephen, I'll start with 4-9.
I'm all set with 4-9.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept those as written.
I'll second it.
I'll make the motion then.
Alright.
All right.
It was your turn.
That's all right.
Okay, motion on 4-2, accept as is or accept with changes?
We got changes that I already mentioned, and then I had another question.
Yeah, I said, should this be May here? You read down, it will be made prior to the
On this list.
planning board rules for review.
Sarah, Amy.
Change it will be made prior to the. Is that right, the April meeting? I was trying to.
Well, probably should have been May, but it is April, so.
It is, I guess it is still right.
I guess we might as well leave it.
Okay. That was the only thing I had outside of what David found.
That might have been what I was talking about. I was busy reading that one.
Yeah.
He was gonna sign this, sorry, at the May meeting, but we're actually in April.
Should we date it so it doesn't?
So we are.
And I
Okay.
read through it.
But he already did. He
Well,
already
that's
signed it.
because at that time, that's when it was gonna be.
That's right. But should we adjust that to reflect the actual, that we actually met early?
I can put it in tonight's minutes,
Okay, whatever.
or do
I
you
mean-
wanna put it in these?
It don't really matter, I don't think.
We just had 2 April meetings.
I'm just late.
I'm here.
Hey.
I'm making enough noise.
You have a right.
Thank you. Just want to let everybody know that I made it.
Glad you're here.
Thank you, Miss Sarah. So thank you, Miss Sarah.
So remember when you sent that email, I had to change the date?
Mhm.
I didn't change it in my calendar. I just said, yeah, that's good.
Motion to accept 4-2 minutes with changes,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
all in favor? We'll let you catch up. All the changes are on the second page, so we can sign them first.
And that's just with Amy's name. Change.
Yes. Yeah.
I put Chase instead of James.
Sarah hasn't read them yet. But we already, yeah, okay. Okay, let me give you a quick catch up where we're at. We're gonna have Caldwell come up and address his application.
Okay.
And then we have 3 new business ones to address tonight that are not on the agenda per se, but they have their information.
Okay.
So, Mr. Caldwell,
Yes.
you want to come on to the table and bring us up to date where you're at? I'm hearing different things, so I don't know where we're headed myself.
So what are you hearing?
Not sure which direction you're going.
Well, based on the video that we watched for the workshop, obviously I haven't seen a plan as of yet or a proposed
Okay.
movement. But like I said, we've been, in my opinion, I think we've been pretty accommodating, trying to meet
You have that.
meet everyone's request.
Yes, you have.
You know, and if it comes to us moving the house back 25 feet and spinning it, and how that's going to impact our existing well, I mean, these are, you know, expenses that we weren't planning on incurring. So, I guess we really need to see what the proposal is. But.
Well, you have the drawing you had the other day with the little house.
Did I keep it? 'Cause
Yeah, we had a little house.
we had a little one. I don't know if I kept it or where it is. Let me look. I have the file here. There's my little house.
That's too small.
It worked for the scale we was dealing with, huh?
It worked for the scale.
You drew out the.
I had the big one.
Yeah, no, that's not where we put it. We put it on
Yeah, we had it on the small
the
scale.
smaller map. Right here. Because we outlined it.
That's what we were talking about. Basically spinning it this direction. Trying to get to that 25-foot line. Yeah. Mike Morse was here last week from DEP.
What was his take?
We're running into the same problem with trying to put a foundation underneath your spot where it is currently. We can't do it. It has to be relocated.
To the most reasonable extent possible, correct?
That's correct. That's
But I mean,
that's what we're trying to do.
You know, really, it's subject to a lot of interpretation.
It is.
You know,
It is.
so. Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, and I apologize for, you know, the time that you guys have spent, you know, but at this point, you know, we went quite a ways to keep it in this footprint where it was,
Yes or no?
redesigned and everything,
Yeah.
and then to have it moved, and now, and I understand, you know, I saw some of the members' opinions on that video about our layout and how it's not their concern, and I appreciate that. But at this point, we're not interested in moving the house like that. Not with the work that we've done so far.
Okay.
So I guess that's where I'm at.
So where do we go from here?
I'm going to talk to Mr. McDonough about just doing re-siding and re-roofing new windows to bring everything up to, you know, current energy efficiency standards
Okay.
as best that we can, and leave her where she sits. So.
Anybody got anything you want to add?
No.
I apologize that we can't.
No,
can't do more.
I understand where you come from, and it's been a difficult process for me personally because I'm trying to be reasonable, you know, on this end as well as empathetic on the home side, and it's stressful, not to say the least. And
You've been very, very cooperative. You've been.
well, I mean, it's only a fair thing to do. I mean, it's, you know, you guys are here to do a job, and we understand that. But you know, with you know, concessions that we feel that we've made based on the restrictions that we have, and we're not interested in moving it. So we'll send Jen an email, and we're going to set up a meeting with Steve and head down that road as far as just kind of putting some lipstick on it and making it look nicer. We're going to go with that.
Okay. Could you send us just an email to withdraw your current application?
Yeah,
or I can deny it. Either way you want me to do it.
You can deny it right now. It's fine by me.
Okay. Then I'll process as a denial.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Can I have that paperwork back to put in my file?
Yes.
All set?
I'm all
Okay,
set.
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. She said, when I sent it out, she would be able to make it tonight.
Business card.
I feel bad for them.
All right. Last thing we have under unfinished business is the planning board rules. We left Jen with some changes to make, and I believe she gave everybody an updated copy this evening.
I'll just scribble on it.
I probably just mixed it all up with all this other stuff that I have. Well, I'll probably find it right here. I found my packet.
What I would like to do is to have you take these and take them home with you, review them for the next meeting, rather than try to go through it all tonight.
Here I
If that's
have one.
acceptable to everybody. So we'll leave that as a homework assignment.
Certainly.
So that brings us to Old Byfield. Bring it, Jim, come on up.
Start out by giving a real quick history, because it's relevant.
That's fine.
We came in and spoke to the old code control officer back in January, prior to purchasing this lot. Our plan was to put up 3 homes, my mom, myself, and my daughter and husband. Got everything figured out, got the new code guy in, it doesn't work anymore. The split we had, property split was okay. The issue that he came up with was doing 3 houses within a 5-year period, makes it a subdivision. So came in Friday, had a great meeting with Jen, she's really wonderful. And came down to a couple of the big ticket items that we'd have to do a subdivision. I've got so we have a 42-acre lot. There's going to be 1 house on it. This is the original plan. This lot and 2-acre lot would remain as a single lot, with the middle lot splitting out. There's a Supreme Court case from back in the 80s that said when you take a lot out of the middle, it's to remain 1 lot. So we would have 2 houses on 1 lot, 1 house on another lot. When Steve, is that his name, Steve McDonough? When Steve came in, he said you can't do 3 houses in 5 years. Came in to look at the subdivision. So the big issues that we ran in with the subdivision was the fire suppression that we would need to do. These are changes from the original plan that we had. And some question, it was very difficult to pin down going through the regulations. On an existing private road, we have 200 feet of frontage on each lot. So we wouldn't be changing the road, but it's very unclear if that's okay or if you need to do something to the road. So that was one of the big questions I was hoping to answer. Since Friday, things have changed a little bit. Just with the information we had, this is going to put us about $50,000 to $60,000 over budget. So at this point, we've scaled our project back to 2 houses, so we're not doing a subdivision. However, we would like to start the process of at least doing the research so that in 2 or 3 years, when we've raised some additional funds, if it's possible, we can put the 3rd house in as a subdivision. Does that make sense?
That would have to be 5 years though. Right?
No, if you do
no,
it within
if you-
5 years,
if
it
you
becomes a
want-
subdivision.
Sorry.
Right. If we wait 5 years, we can do the 3rd house without a subdivision, but we don't want to wait that long if we can avoid it. So,
Excuse me, we just wanna save up the money so we
Yeah,
can actually afford
it's-
to do it.
yeah, it's taken.
Since this wasn't something we were initially planning on.
Right. And
Yeah, because we originally had approval without a subdivision, and then that obviously changed the parameters a lot.
Can you tell me what you wanted to subdivide again?
Okay,
So this
so-
piece here and this is here.
Right, so this is one lot.
When we purchased it, this was one.
Yeah, this is all
giant chunk.
currently one lot. We haven't done
Oh,
the
it's all
separation
one
yet.
lot.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So this becomes one lot, and this becomes one lot. Even though these are not contiguous because of the way the split happens, they're considered a single lot.
Okay. Why does that fall under subdivision if we need 3 lots for a subdivision?
3 lots is a subdivision.
3 houses apparently is a subdivision as well.
Well, because again, that's is
Either
it
way.
how it's either way.
3 lots or 3 houses.
Yeah, and in all honesty, the wording on the 3 houses is very vague. I've got the town lawyer saying 3 houses in 5 years. I've got my lawyer saying no. As soon as you split the lot, it becomes okay. The phrasing in the law is pretty ambiguous, and having read both, we just don't want to fight it. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the money. So we wanted to do this instead. If you tell me I can do 3 houses without a subdivision, I'll be really, really happy.
I'm not gonna
But
tell you anything, but I think I ask a lot of questions.
no, that's fine.
that would solve all of our problems if we could do that.
But yeah, the road was the big question that we have, because going through, there's all kinds of stuff about when you put in a new road, when you upgrade a road, there's nothing that says the road's already there.
I mean, we have a
And-
neighbor here, so
yeah,
it's
there's a neighbor
already
here.
being
How
used.
far does this road go before it stops?
It ends right here.
600 feet
It's
from the end of
6. Okay, so the pavement ends, depending on how you count pavement ending,
Right.
within about 15 feet of this corner, that way. So it's a private road from this corner of the property down to this second, what do you call them? The pin in the road.
Yeah.
There's a term for it, I can't remember. Monument. Second monument.
Yes.
So there's,
How much distance is there from your property line here to here?
from here to here's 200 and like change feet.
Okay.
So we there's definitely the frontage on it. Right. But one of the big unknowns we have, and this is, for planning going forward, is obviously if we need something to do this, if we need to do something to the road, that's going to be a big chunk of change.
Correct.
So putting a cistern in, that's expensive, but it's doable. The only other thing that I think we actually needed to do was a fire truck turnaround, and there was some squishiness as to what that actually meant.
Hammerhead is basically what that is, just so you can't turn around.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions we had there is, does it have to be at the end of the road, or can it be here? Because this is
There's already like
this is
a
300 feet from
turnaround.
less than 300 feet from the end of the road, and I've got a probably 60 to 70 feet wide landing area there that goes 300 feet into the property.
Underneath the subdivision review, the fire chief will go down and make that decision.
Okay. Yeah. So the turnaround,
That's where that
the
comes from.
turnaround isn't going to be a huge chunk of
Right.
of money, because if we need to come down to the end, we can always just do a circle, because the driveway comes up here. We can do a circle off the driveway. So it comes in the driveway and pulls around.
Right.
The real question is, with an existing road, are we going to have to do anything? And the confusion is that part of the confusion is that it's a private road.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So we have subdivisions already that are on existing roads that didn't have to do anything like that, but where that's a private road and it dead ends, I don't know.
Well, I know we'd have to put the loop in for the fire truck. That's what was part of our calculations, because we don't want them getting stuck.
Right.
The question is there more that we would have to do?
Right, and we've been trying to prepare ahead of time to make sure we had all of our ducks in a row. Unfortunately, with the previous code enforcement officer, we had a lot of apparently false pretenses at this point. So we're really kind of in a pickle with how we move forward.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that there's no more surprises.
When you break
In the
this
immediate
up,
future.
Yep.
is this staying in the same person's name, or is there? gonna
Okay,
be
so
a
the
different-
plan right now
Yeah,
is
so
this
which-
is going
which
to be
model
one
are
lot. This is all going to be one lot. So we've changed it, but it's still only 2 lots, because now there's a house going here and a house going here. We've dropped the middle house out. So that makes it easier,
So
just one
in
house
your
on each
original
lot.
plan of 3 houses,
Yep.
were all the lots going to be in the same person's name?
These 2, since they're one lot, would be. And this lot, right now, Tori and Ben own it. I would take ownership of my trust, ownership of the middle lot. The in-family exemption doesn't work because we haven't held it for 5 years.
Right. And we were also.
That's not what I'm looking
Oh,
for.
okay.
Where did we just see that, Andy?
This one?
Yes, because this reads, a subdivision which contains 3 or more dwelling units on land in common ownership. Now, if one lot is no longer in the same name, it's not the same ownership.
Legal's already looked at this.
Okay, so they've already determined,
They made their opinion. So they are limited to 2 houses right now.
They're wondering what they have to do something.
In a couple of years, we need the financial projection so we can target, because the question is, the way we got around it is, I'm forcing these guys to put up with me until we can build a 3rd house. So obviously, we'd rather not do that for 5 years.
Right.
So if it means we have to cough up an extra chunk of change that's reasonable in that time span, then we'll do the subdivision. If not, we'll suck it up and live together for 5 years.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But we kind of need to know with a little more certainty what that target is. I can go out and I can price a cistern. I've done that. I'm not too concerned about the turnaround. That's going to be a couple $1,000 in the grand scheme of things. That's chump change. If we need to do something with the road, that potentially becomes literally hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So, because really, if the answer is you have to upgrade the road, we're on a 5-year plan. There's no way around it.
And after 5 years, we'd essentially be in essence, the exact same situation.
Yeah, the end result is going to be the same 5 years from now.
Except,
it's just how we do it.
Except after 5 years, we wouldn't even be required to have the turnaround or just some of the safety features that a true subdivision would entail.
Yeah. So I mean, this is what we get for being right on the edge of a subdivision.
Yeah.
But that's so. Yeah. When I left Friday, I thought we were definitely on a subdivision track. We still had 3 houses. Then I ran some of the numbers and it was just like, not going to happen.
We couldn't afford all this.
We need to do some research before we can answer any of these questions.
Okay, that's fair. I just I want to, before everybody gets in and we start spending all kinds of stuff, lots of work in.
Looks like it's like 200 feet.
This is 201 feet.
And this one is 200.
201 feet. Imagine that.
Yeah.
This one is a little over because it's got a bend in the road, so it's
Yeah.
170 and 33 will be
203 something.
203.
This whole road is like 600.
605, 610 feet long.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Right.
No, I like that. You guys know this stuff way better than I do.
Yeah.
We know some things, but we keep running into the unknowns that makes it more
Yeah,
challenging.
well, that's what makes these
Yeah.
jobs interesting.
What we
Being born
don't
after
want
is
to
always
do
the same.
is give you false information.
Yeah, well,
You
that's
had enough of that already.
that's part of why we're here. Is
You've
we've
had your share of that.
yeah, and it's still it's costing us about $20,000 to back out of that other house, but
Yeah.
that's we don't have the 50 to spend, so we got to do it.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, you're still working with code enforcement right now for the 2 that you're getting, right?
My understanding is the permits either were issued today or the request was put in. I know my builder was in here today getting the permits, and I haven't heard anything, so I assume. I mean, we had a letter saying we had 2, so I'm assuming that we're okay. Until I hear otherwise. Hopefully I won't.
There's 2 options. You can put in for a subdivision application, Or you can just let us do a little research and give you a little bit back, some more information, you know where you're headed.
I think I like that better, because I know if we do a subdivision, it's at least 2 years out. Because, just on the numbers we have already, it's gonna take us that long to recover and then establish the additional revenues. So.
Let me just ask the board what your thoughts are on this. I'm sorry, I'm speaking out of turn.
I like your idea.
Yeah.
Then we do a little research and
Absolutely.
it's another curveball at us.
Yeah.
We're out of the time crunch because we're doing prefabs. The houses are arriving in a month. So, excuse me? No, we bailed on one of them. We ate the deposit, so it's just 2. So we're really looking at a project that's a couple of years out. So I would much rather go down this path than try and ram something through or try and make it quick and dirty or get in.
Yeah.
Because if something comes up, like if we do need to do the road, then we're even further behind the 8 ball.
I think that's the big question is the road, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right, because you don't know. I mean, if you can just leave it the way it is, then just make a little turnaround.
It's an existing road. We can throw a turnaround on the end.
You're not looking at money, but roads, like you said, I mean, they all of a sudden come in and say, okay, now you got to put in base and you got to do all this, and put in culverts and
and like I said, it's very vague because it doesn't say anything about what happens when you have a private road. And I don't know. I assume when the road went in, there was something to say it's a road, but I don't know.
Well, there's no guarantee on that either.
Okay. There's a road there. There's a road there, so we've got that much.
We have a survey that says frontage.
Actually, you know what? I know that Sebago spoke to someone here and confirmed the road, so I know there's something for the road.
Right.
The question is just, I know doing single residences as to doing a subdivision, another set of regulations come in.
Yes.
And like you said, it was really vague. So rather than getting into we interpreted it that way. Figure we get the word ahead of time. So, do I just, should I wait to hear from you or should I come back for another meeting? How do you guys want to set the next step?
We'll do some studying.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do some question asking.
I'm guessing I'm looking at you on because chances I might not be sitting in this seat. So.
Right.
I wouldn't plan on that. My signs are already made.
Okay.
I'm just gonna attach I just had big don't stickers made. So I'm gonna put that on your vote for Paul Philbrick sign. Don't.
Okay. The elections are coming up. You looking to get out or you?
Moving from one hot seat to another one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I guess I'm.
Yes, I think we do need to talk about it.
And so you own the road, or is it it's a right of way to all the property?
The road is actually part of this lot. The plan is to keep it as part of this lot as we go. That we don't have to chop it into 3 pieces.
And there's a right of way to the other people. The house across the street.
I actually don't know.
Oh, just
if there's a house across the street, then it probably
How
is
far
already
back
a right
on
away.
Old Dryfield are you? Where's 202?
It just comes off the pavement.
It's not very far. There's
800,
How many houses are in front of that?
there's like 3 houses and then the feed store. So it's maybe 1,000 feet to the end of the pavement and then 600 feet further. It's not a very long road.
No, I know. I know where it is. Yeah.
She's our realtor.
Oh, okay.
She keeps track of all the properties around this.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great property. There's a little bit more ledge in there than we liked, but it's a wonderful.
Better than mud.
That's right.
Better than swamp.
Better than swamp. Yeah. Well, we've got a little pasture out here cleared. We got to stump it. We're gonna start out with some small livestock and work up.
That you can take your time on.
Yeah. We should have got that now.
Sometimes they'll help out. Some of the livestock.
You know any that'll dig stumps? I want to know about that.
It's unclear.
What's unclear?
Just
We're just trying to dig out the info.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Dave?
I think we ought to at least,
Couple months.
yeah,
Okay, so I'll wait to hear from you.
yeah.
Jen's got my contact info.
Okay. If you don't hear from us, say by August or September.
Okay,
Give us a
that's
buzz.
perfect because we're planning to move in in August, so we'll move in and get
us a
settled,
buzz.
and I'll be in town anyway doing my license and stuff, so I'll stop in for that.
Do we have a copy of this map?
I know you have a copy of the corner.
Okay,
I can email you a PDF of the whole thing. Yeah, it's just the PDF. When you print it out, this whole map is like that big, so it's hard to see anything. Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm one of those weirdos. I don't like sweets. Never have.
I wish I could say that.
Yeah, you know, it comes on anyway.
Yeah.
It seems to find a way.
It had helped with all the good food.
I guess I need clarification on
Yeah.
this because I'm not getting it.
Yeah. And the sweets too.
Yeah. Thank you.
I had my share.
I'm trying to remember what that was all about.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for all your help again, Jen.
Wish I could have gotten some better answers.
Progress. Right? Moving forward.
More people listening.
You sure you want to come up?
I don't know.
Hasn't been the best of nights for us.
There's that, all that paperwork.
Trying to hit a moving target.
Yeah. Everybody covered? Yeah. She's already got hers. I got
You
that.
did.
ready all set, so she can present.
All right, so my name's Jen. Hello. You'll have to excuse me and I wish my husband was here because he pretty much drew this up. But I kind of know that obviously he's my husband and we bought the property, so I kind of know the details. And just to give you a little background, so we just purchased the property. So it's the first time we're on that lake, which is beautiful, by the way. So before we bought it, we knew that the septic had to be replaced. So that was something we knew going in. So that's already been approved to be redone. So we have to redo the whole septic. And so we have approval from the state for that. And there's a map or a plan or a map already detailed to do that. So in order to do that, we have to also replace the existing deck that's there. And so this is where the rock wall on this side, where near the water, it's already falling apart. So we were thinking while he's doing the septic and replacing the deck, he can kind of grade this, and at the same time, during that project, there was no parking at all. I mean, we're basically parked like on the side of the road. So we're hoping to kind of grade that and then replace the rock wall with this existing one to make a little more parking to get off the road. I don't know. I probably didn't present that very well,
No,
but
you're doing fine. Yeah.
but so my husband drew this all out. So if you have any questions about anything, it might be better if you ask me the questions and then I can help. So I don't know what your thoughts are on any of the. Yeah, that would be great. Because he's better. I can answer as much as I can, but if you have any questions about anything, please ask and I'll try to help.
I don't have questions yet.
Okay.
I see you making marks. So.
I see you making marks and comments.
I was just thinking.
Okay.
She's our realtor. He's our contractor.
Oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you. It's the first time we were doing this. So we live in Dover, and this is the first time we're purchasing a house over here in Maine. But yeah, we're pretty excited about it. So, but there's just a few things, obviously, in doing the septic. There's other stuff that looked like it needed to be kind of graded because this rock wall, these little rock walls are they're falling down. Mm-hmm. And I'm just worried concern for the kids and stuff if they're standing on it, like it can crumble.
So you didn't make application for this. You just
Mike. I'm sorry, I said it to him. Steve
already knows all. Yeah, he's already approved
all the septic,
the septic and everything.
And the grading that's going to take place in front of the house.
That's on the water side of the house.
What are we looking at?
We are looking at the
back,
the
driveway,
back wall closest to the parking.
So the deck and everything is
all done.
The erosion control and the deck must be the same as
it's all
that's all been approved, and he knows about that.
Yeah.
And then
that's within the 50-foot buffer, right?
They're doing a replacement,
so
that they're all covered.
Yeah,
and he's already approved that. So.
And I think he felt like he wanted us to come before you guys to just talk about the parking and the other kind of replacing these rocks.
In fact, they're bringing in, what is it?
1,400
cubic feet.
Yeah.
Per our shoreline zoning, if they bring anything over 10 cubic yards, they have to give permission.
Right. And we're increasing the impermeability, right? For that parking area.
Depending on you look at that, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is what I think why Steve.
We have to look at.
Yeah, this is where we fall into the picture.
Yeah. Does that make all sense? Okay.
So basically what we're looking at is that back wall. The front comes into play because there's two different ways of looking at this. So that's why we have to look at that. Where's the best location for that retaining wall to be? So you had two front retaining walls, now you're looking to regrade that. So where do you put the one that you do need? So that's what we have to look at.
But there's also already one in place in the back too, right? This is
right. Yeah. There's two sections there right now, and as you can see, they're looking to basically just move that.
Just make it vertical.
Flat
Get
wall.
rid of
Flat wall.
Yeah, like you're saying, that looks downright dangerous in back there.
Well, when you look at it, and like I said, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and she was standing on one of the rock walls in the front, and she jumped off, and then we had our contractor come in, and he stood on it, and the whole thing like fell. So I just was envisioning my daughter, if she had been standing there, and then we're a little concerned about this. Well, she could have like.
Yeah.
So these are all kind of rocks just piled on each other. There's not, and it seems to be, they look like they're eroding a little bit, so that's why we're concerned about that. And so looking to kind of really stabilize it, and then regrade this.
What is it now? Just regular rocks?
They're all just
you're
rocks.
Looking to use what, like the retaining wall blocks?
Yes, like more of a. I'm not bad with these materials, but like a very heavy duty cinder.
The ones that you build on retaining walls.
Exactly.
Retaining wall blocks.
And my husband has contacted, and I want to say it's Janess, to try to get like an engineer to make a plan, to make sure that it's constructed well and everything. I think it's Janess. I think it's the group that you might know. With rocks or something. I don't know. Anyway, he's been in contact with somebody over there, and they're supposed to be getting a plan in place to make sure that it's, we're just trying to make sure we're doing it correctly.
We will not be approving the construction of the wall. That will be codes.
Oh, when we just looking at the location?
We have to approve the bringing in of the fill. But bringing in the fill, we have to make sure we know why it's coming in and what it's going to be used for. That's what we have to. But the wall, because it's the purpose of the fill, brings it into our category. But the actual building of how it's going to be constructed, what comes in the codes. I think it's over.
And Steve, we've been working with Steve, so he knows all, and Jen too.
Yeah. So you said you told me it was over 8 feet tall, right? The wall, or something like that.
It says 9 here.
9.
Yeah, that's over 8.
Yeah.
Which brings in different categories, which is why he has to approve that the way it's designed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions other than it's been voiced? Sarah?
How many questions?
I think I got a pretty good understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
Two rock walls that are very not stable.
I would agree, yes.
Going to be replaced by one.
Mm-hmm.
And the engineer that's going to design this wall, I would think, is going to build it strong enough to hold back the appropriate amount of fill.
Mm-hmm.
I have it.
Oh, that's your last.
I think so.
Okay.
You want it?
No, I'm sorry.
I'm all set with it. I'm all set.
Other copies.
They're 50 feet back, so that works.
What's happening with the stairs?
So right now, the stairs have to be removed and replaced to put the septic in, and that's been talked about with Steve already. So we were just, but we have to remove all this stuff to do the septic, so that's how it all came about. So I'm not sure what materials we're going to use for the stairs, if we're just going to use, like, put in some, I'm not sure we would do whatever makes the most sense and not take away from anything, but
it's going back to the same
basically
spot.
Exactly the same as where we're replacing it. We're not doing anything different. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I mean, it's like the deck. Yeah, it's like the deck. We're doing the exact same thing.
She has it. Can I just see that map one more time?
Sure.
This one?
this not the high water? This is 85 right there, right?
Maybe that's not the high water. This looks like it's going, see the water line? And then it goes 50. 85. Or maybe they're saying 50 in this direction. Okay.
So it's 85 feet.
85 feet. I was just confused with the line.
No problem. No problem. Now's the time.
That's it, and then it goes on to campground.
Yeah, so it doesn't go.
That's all we have. Because right before that, it just talks about the structure. Not sure.
Share your thoughts.
I don't know if I have any.
Oh,
Not more questions as usual.
Yeah, it just brought up more questions. I was just looking in the shoreland zoning. It's page 13. Page 13 of the shoreland zoning. Yeah, the current one.
I'll be so glad I get down to one.
And we're looking at number 5 for retaining walls.
Mm-hmm.
So it talks about requirements for retaining walls, but it only specifies these requirements if the retaining wall is not necessary for erosion control. But as Annie and I were just talking, it looks like this would be necessary for erosion control.
Agree.
And it brings us nowhere for something that would be necessary. Because the next section, it's like done. And then before that is talking about the actual structure itself, not the retaining walls. So that's just where we were.
Is there what's happening?
Oh, you did look at the same thing, yeah.
Digging, trying to find info.
Because they're definitely, based on the maps, within all of the setbacks. They're even beyond the 75-foot setback with that wall, but it gives us no direction.
The walls occurs with this.
Oh, he might have found some zones.
No, this is just that same thing. If it's within 75 feet, they go to
The National Resource Protection Act and the DEP.
How do you get down to the property now? Is there stairs?
There's stairs, so we have to take the stairs out to do the septic, but we're just gonna replace the stairs as they
Yeah.
well, we have to, that's how we get down there, yeah, from stairs.
Huh. How far back are we?
85 feet.
85.
From the bottom.
Because my brain's going in a different direction where I'm looking up parking and driveways, since it's going to be a parking area. I don't know. Maybe it'll give me some direction.
Paul, you awful quiet?
Writing's so small on this one.
I know, I
See it,
can't even
like,
see
trying
it
to look at
either.
it,
I
trying
wish
to
I'd
see.
had a magnifying glass, I don't have glasses either. I didn't realize how
The
small it
last
was.
couple pages is a larger scale of it.
Oh, that would be better.
Much better.
Sorry, I could have made it a little
Well,
bigger, I guess.
just mainly talks about water runoff and culverts and that stuff.
Well, what I'd like to make a suggestion is we take the zoning review guide, go down through it, and that will help identify the different paragraphs we need to address. If anything pops up, we can go back
I agree.
and shuffle through it.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that's a great idea.
I think everybody's got a copy of it. You know, in your package you got?
Mm-hmm. Can we have a copy of the other map, the one that shows us?
Yeah. I need a copy of the catalog orders.
No.
A lot of this is not gonna be applicable, but we'll have to go through and just mark as we go through.
Do we have that?
I think you should have a copy of it, too. If you want, I'll just mark up mine and you can keep yours clean for later on, or if you wanna write on it, it's fine too, I'll leave it up to you. Very first thing is non-conforming existed before 1993. In this case, I don't think it really matters because we're not talking about a building. We're talking about a retaining wall. Everybody agrees we'll make that non-applicable?
Yes.
Yeah. Non-conforming condition will become more non-conforming.
The impermeable surface is gonna get bigger, correct?
So we'll make that as a item to come back and look at. Okay. And you're talking about permeability?
Yep.
Okay. Repair and maintenance application, this is actually building new, so I would say that's NA.
Right.
Expansion, do you consider this an expansion?
No, it's existing, well,
We're adding fill, so.
Yeah,
It's a
so
wall.
that's what I was
and the
thinking
parking
too.
area becomes an expansion.
Okay, so just as in yes, we'll come back and dig this one in some more. New and large replacement foundation, that's NA.
special expansion allowance, that's not gonna come into play. Everybody agrees? Expansion of non-conforming use. Which thing?
I don't know if it's a non-conforming use. Because it's set back far enough.
And they have to have a parking area, right, or a driveway, so what's the?
Well, they have one now.
Yeah. So we're.
Go back to it?
Yeah.
We'll leave that one as a question. Table 1 uses number 14, that basically is, because they're adding the 10 cubic, over 10 cubic feet, 10 cubic yards, I'm sorry,
Where's that?
page 10. Oh, it's my page 10. I don't know what your vote is.
Mine and yours are the same.
Okay. If you drop down to number 31, filling in earth removal of greater than 10 cubic yards in the RP, LR area. No, sorry, RP area.
So how many, we're doing 1,400 cubic feet. I did that in my head.
Are they in
Because 10
resource
cubic yards would
protection?
be.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're within 100 feet of the water.
Okay.
Well, we're going from yards to feet, right? So 10 cubic yards is going to be
270 cubic feet.
Yeah.
So this classifies as removal instead of moving?
This is the filling.
They both say filling.
Yeah.
Filling and earth moving, filling and earth removal.
Yeah. Filling and earth moving less than 10 yards, filling and earth removal of greater than 10 yards.
Filling and earth moving of greater than 10 yards.
Which is where we're at right now.
Says CEO if they're in resource protection.
No, RP. If you follow RP down, it's the second one.
But we're looking at line 30 because they're looking.
We're looking at 31. 30 is less than 10.
Okay.
31 is greater than 10.
My word.
So this is applicable. We'll come back to that one. Principal and accessory structures.
Hold on. Coming back to that.
Setback from its height limits.
I don't think that's applicable.
I'm
15 annual criteria.
I say NA on that.
Everybody agree?
Yeah.
These are a few of these. Stormwater runoff.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Okay. Septic waste disposal.
NA for us, right?
And NA for us. I agree. Everybody else agree? Clearing and removal of vegetation other than timber harvesting.
You're not taking any vegetation out, right?
Aren't they gonna have to put in a new septic?
But that's
That's covered under that.
That's not that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
We're staying back by the road.
we're going back the other way.
We're staying away from the water.
NA? Rocks don't count as vegetation. Rocks and all dirt, does it? Plants only.
You got one?
Yeah, I agree with Zara.
Yes, no?
Yes,
Yes, what?
whatever you said.
Erosion sedimentation control, that's a.
Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna do that one. single family structure, special exception.
NA.
Yeah, it's more than 75 for us, right?
I say it's NA.
I do too.
We're up to will maintain safe and healthful conditions. 16.
Yes.
We need to review it, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it real quick. What page you on?
27 is what it's gonna be at.
I'd say they've met that condition.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be safer than it was in the beginning.
Yeah. So they're improving the next one.
Okay.
Right, they're making less water pollution, or a chance there are.
Okay. Well, will it maintain safe and healthful conditions? Everybody say yes, no? Proposal?
I would say yes.
Yes, it's gonna make it
Yeah.
safer.
Sure.
We'll make that one a vote then. Will not result in water pollution, erosion, or sedimentation to surface waters?
It will not.
Agree.
Agree.
I agree.
Will adequately provide for disposal of wastewater as an NA. Will not have an adverse impact on the fish, birds, wildlife.
Will not.
I agree.
I agree also.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see any way that would.
Will conserve shore cover and visual as well as actual points of access to inland waters.
Visual.
We're removing the two front walls, so that's going to kind of blend in with the terrains, and you're going to have one wall in the back.
I say it conserves it. Makes it improves actually.
Sounds to me like it's going to improve it.
Yeah.
I mean, the house pretty much, the building pretty much hides that wall anyway.
You wouldn't be able to see it from the water side.
Yeah.
Because it's
Agree.
Will protect
Aquifer?
archaeological, historic values. I mean, it's an NA. You don't have any Indians buried, do you?
Oh gosh. I haven't seen any tombstones.
Will protect archaeological and historic resources as designated in the comprehensive plan.
Thank you.
NA.
Will avoid problems associated with floodplain development and use.
Will avoid problems associated with floodplain development and use.
I don't see how that would.
Will avoid
unless we go back to the permeability of the parking lot. But,
It's already there.
it's already there.
That wall there.
I don't even know if that applies. I'm not sure. I'm thinking on this one still.
Okay, I don't think so.
Doesn't apply? I can live with that.
NA.
Yeah. NA.
I was right.
For sure.
Is in conformance with the precision provisions.
Okay, minimum lot standard, it doesn't affect that. Principal and accessory structures, I see that's NA.
NA.
Yeah.
Geostone floors, etc. It's not there.
Over below the normal high water.
NA.
Campgrounds.
NA.
I like this, is getting better.
Yeah.
Individual campsites. By the way, that's coming up to be a new problem.
Good.
Just in time
Thankfully
for.
not for you.
Not hers though.
Yeah,
Not hers.
For you to leave, Paul. I find this all pretty convenient.
Commercial industrial uses.
Okay.
Parking areas is.
We need
it's
to
a
come back
possibility.
to.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one. Roads and driveways, let's come back to that one. Signs,
NA.
I agree. Stormwater runoff.
Come back to it.
Come back
Well, we did say yes to, what did we say yes to?
We'll come back, okay.
Okay, come back to it.
We're just sitting this down something. Septic waste disposal.
NA.
Three. Central services.
NA.
I agree with you.
Mineral exploration and extractions.
We're gonna be looking for gold or anything like that.
You wish.
Well, if I find some, I'll tell you about it.
I think we gotta do a sidewalk.
Steve was already there, so maybe he found something.
Agriculture.
NA.
Everybody agree?
Yes.
Yep.
Timber house. Timber harvesting.
No, NA.
Clearing or removal of vegetation for activities other than timber harvesting, and we already determined that was.
NA.
Yeah, I guess you want. Is the grass considered? It's grass now, right?
There's grass there.
Oh.
So you want to say that as.
Yeah.
It is vegetation.
It's gonna be removed to
Yeah,
put the
let's-
fill in too.
Look at it then.
Yeah.
Erosion sedimentation control, we gotta come back to that one. Soils. Yes.
Yes.
Water quality.
NA.
Archaeological.
Water quality. Let me just look that one up.
I think that would improve the water quality.
No activity shall deposit on or into the ground or discharge to the waters of the state any pollutant that by itself or in combination with other activities or substances will impair designated uses for the water classification of the water body, tributary stream, or wetland.
What do you think, guys?
We're talking about the finished project?
No activity.
What is, shall deposit on or into the ground or discharge? Would that be, say, a car leaking oil in that parking area? If a car leaks something, or no? Sometimes cars leak.
No, that's true.
You just use the filter. You're not gonna be putting any pollutants or anything.
No, I'm not gonna bring any pollutants in there.
No.
And
So
the
I don't know.
last one is the archaeological site,
Archaeological.
which is in A. Okay. So. Let's go back to the very beginning. The second one down, non-conforming condition will become more non-conforming. You mentioned permeability. So let me ask, is the location of the wall as they show it, is that the best possible location for that wall?
I believe that it is.
Looking for the bigger one?
No, I have my own then. Must have eat it. No, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I had a different one I scribbled on that. Whatever I do, it'll come up again someday.
Is that the one that Jen used to make the copies with?
This one will work. Okay.
I believe that is the best location for that wall because they already have a wall there because they need to hold dirt back. So basically they're just going straight up, filling in, instead of having to have two separate walls.
I'm going to get back to your question about permeability in a second. Does everybody agree that that's in the best possible location where they got it proposed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I have a motion on that effect? Because that's a key factor here.
Make a motion.
Second?
Let her state it.
I make a motion that is the most what?
Best possible.
Best possible place. I forgot the question. I make a motion though. David seconded it.
I seconded it.
I
still second it.
The motion's been made and seconded that this is the best possible location for this proposed wall. Any further discussion? Questions? All in favor? Go ahead.
I don't know supposed to do that, but
You're trying to help us out, that's all.
She's a favor.
like I'm not adding
If
to
you
anything.
said
so
no, we'd be in real trouble.
She'll be emailing Peter. Your wife is up.
Your wife's trying to say she doesn't want
Oh,
Because that becomes.
because I was
Right.
looking for it and I'm like,
Right,
I'm
because you're
not
not
going
at 20%.
Okay, now let's go back to your permeability.
Yeah.
We are losing some distance between the two walls because of absorption, but we're also going to gain by bringing it out 10 feet. So you're going to need some surface area that you didn't. You're not losing total surface area.
Yeah.
You're losing some, but not
But
Right,
is,
because it was on an angle before and you're.
leveling it off.
Yeah.
is it gonna be paved on top, or does that make any difference?
to. The plan says crushed gravel.
But gravel counts the same.
Three-quarter cut crushed gravel will be used on the top of the surface.
But we'll use whatever Matt would make it.
I think that's a perfect thing.
I agree.
So
Once
we
they
all
put
set with
proper
that one?
drains on the bottom of that wall.
So non-conforming condition will become more non-conforming?
No.
No.
So check it.
So it's okay, will not. All in agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Takes care of that one. Non-conforming structure expansion, we are bringing in fill to backfill behind this wall, which it's not really, I guess we consider it structure, but we are.
Adding fill.
Yeah, we're adding fill. You already mentioned the makeup of the fill.
Right.
What it is. Any concerns with this?
No, seems like the right material.
Yeah.
And if they get,
Andy,
you
is
know,
that
if they
right?
have an engineer come in and design it, I'm sure he's gonna make sure it meets all the,
Right.
you know, that it's done the right way.
He'd be awful embarrassed if,
It
you know,
falls down in the.
5 years down the road.
Yeah, he's coming. We're not doing it ourselves. Someone's coming
Yeah.
and doing this. So we're leaving it to the professionals.
Okay. That brings us to non-conforming uses, expansion of non-conforming uses, that, I think we've already addressed that.
Yeah.
I think it's no effect.
Right.
All in agreement?
Yes.
Table one, we've already, everybody agrees that they can bring in that amount of fill that they need.
I agree.
I agree.
That brings us down to storm and water. We'll try it again. Storm water runoff. We did address that. Sounds like
It was addressed in the application. The parking area will pitch back to the street and toward the right side of the property to direct water runoff toward the existing water drainage ditch. Hay mulch will be added for erosion control.
we have no problems with that. Anybody? This is not large enough to bring DEP down to get involved. Any issue there? All in agreement?
Yeah, I agree.
I am.
You realize we're setting Steve up, he's gonna have to make sure this takes place.
But I don't think he's gonna be intimidated by us.
Probably not.
If he doesn't like something we've done, he'll let us know.
Okay, erosion and sedimentation controls, I believe that was addressed in her letter of intent.
Yeah, I think.
Erosion control measures.
The silt fence would be used from the property line to property line, and hay bales would be used where needed.
And you said you're having a contractor do this?
Yes,
Do you know if he's been certified in?
he has. Or he's certified with the state. Yeah. He is. And Steve knows his name. He's got all that information.
Looking to Andy.
I'm good.
This is your ball of wax. This is your area.
No, looks like you're doing it right.
Okay. All in agreement?
I am.
Yeah.
Certified contractor. Parking area. I would put that as an NA myself.
You would? Why would you put that as an NA?
Because they're free to do what they want with that land. Unless you want to revegetate it.
No, I think I'd rather see it the crushed stone if they're gonna be parking on it. Try to vegetate it at all. Probably wouldn't work out in the long run. It's gonna get run over.
The wording doesn't really cover it very well in manual. I think that's useful.
You think that should be NA? Dave?
I mean, it is a parking area, but why do you think NA? What are we saying when we say
that you're meeting the criteria in here for a parking area?
Well, they definitely meet the setback.
Do they?
From the water, 50 feet horizontal distance from the shoreline.
That's for a different type of parking area.
Tell me what you see. Tell me what you're thinking when you say, do they meet the shore setback?
What is the requirement for building? How far back from the water is supposed to be?
Hold on, let me read more. Okay, I read that wrong.
Is this RP?
Mm-hmm. They're only 85 feet. This is 100.
But they can't be 100. Only in the road.
That's right.
Unless no reasonable alternative exists as determined by the planning board.
There's already a parking area there.
5 foot.
And it tells us a typical parking area should be 10 by 20.
That's if you're
Typical.
a parking lot.
A parking lot, okay.
In a boat launch type
Okay.
situation.
So for their use, I think they've met the requirements for themselves.
Okay. If no other reasonable alternative exists as determined by the planning board, the road and or driveway setback requirement shall be no less than 50 feet.
We already determined it had no adverse effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Hmm?
satisfied the way it is?
I personally have no problem with the location of that driveway based on what I just read.
Okay.
Because we are 85 feet from the water, and in the case where we cannot be more 100 feet or more, it says that we can make the determination that we can be no closer than 50 feet to the water, and we're 85 feet.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
What do you think, Chairman?
I voted with it. We'll go with it. Road and driveways? It's not a road or driveway, so.
NA.
I think. Definite, maybe.
All agree?
I agree.
Any?
Yeah.
Stormwater runoff, we already addressed that and said that was okay, so. Clearing and removal of vegetation,
Wait a minute. Where are they? Okay. Yeah. All right, page.
number 16. The only thing we're removing, I guess, is
Rocks, right?
She said now there's. You said there's grass there.
Where the existing wall is.
Well, there's,
We're just
Grass is what's holding it together.
I mean, it's rocks. And there's like a little bit of grass and there's rocks, like, you know, where these two are. And I mean,
I'm more looking at the back wall.
right.
oh, this wall.
Yeah,
Oh,
what is
rocks.
between these two walls? Is there any vegetation right in that
There's
area?
like there's grass and some.
Because nobody could get a lawnmower up there probably.
There's like it's weeds. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of gnarly something.
I wouldn't want to
I don't know
walk
what
through
you
there.
call. It's not grass. It's really. I thought you were talking about in the front. Sorry. I don't know. You can't. I mean, you really. I don't know what you call it there. It's. You
If
can
the
really
wall
get a.
come- Yeah, if
weed-
someone
weed
stands
whacker
on the
there.
wall.
If someone stands on the wall, they'd probably injure themselves.
Yeah. And they might get hit if they tried to walk in between.
So what are we looking at?
I don't believe that counts as actual vegetation, according to the shoreline zoning
I
board.
agree.
I agree.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'd be happy to plant something. I just don't know what.
What are you going to plant on
I don't
the
know.
wall?
No, but I
Very
mean, I would not plant whatever is there.
Yeah.
I don't feel I'm taking away from the vegetation, but I can certainly
We'll
plant
make it
No,
some.
no, because
And then,
now what it is your driveway is going to be there.
Right, yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
just
not
why
that,
we
yeah.
have to ask.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Erosion sedimentation control, we've already, we'll be using a certified.
Yeah. That's covered.
Soils going into it.
Gravel, no, coarse sand.
I'm going to refer to the expert in this one. The right soils for the application.
Yes.
All agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we affecting the water quality?
I think we're improving it.
How are we improving it, David?
By just adding some material that we're gonna really affect it at all. There's no contaminants in the material, so it shouldn't affect the water quality.
No change?
Yeah, I don't think it'll change anything.
I think no change.
All in agreement? No change?
Yeah.
So, what is your pleasure? We answered all the questions. I didn't identify anything in the process.
Make a motion to accept
The
application as is.
The proposal.
the moving of all we can approve is the moving of the 1,400 cubic feet of material into the spot.
Say that.
Motion to approve moving of the 1,400 cubic feet
As requested.
as requested.
Second motion.
Third. Paul, fourth it.
I forfeit.
Then moved and seconded to approve the addition of the 1,400 cubic feet. And any more discussion? All in favor? It's passed.
Good.
Thank you.
What does she need for paperwork?
Wasn't nothing there that was
One
keep us
fact
from
inclusion.
approving it.
Okay.
Looks like you had everything ready to go.
All right,
so.
thank you.
We'll process the paperwork and give it to Jen, sorry.
Okay.
So, and then we'll just wait to hear from, you'll email Peter or Steve or whoever.
Yeah, I'll talk to Steve tomorrow and then.
Great, well, thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you.
Welcome.
I
Thank you
appreciate
for your
it.
patience.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great night too. Thank you.
You guys have this table in a mess.
Yeah. I want to talk about that subdivision thing because I'm not clear on that.
Yeah, we'll go there in a few seconds.
Okay.
Looks like Paul is back. The next one on the agenda is public participation, so I gotta wait and give him a chance.
Well, I was gonna ask a question on the 6 Landing Lane, rather than try to, didn't we say we were gonna deny that?
6 Landing Lane.
Cadwallader.
Yes.
Cadwallader, whatever it is. Do we have to actually vote on that?
Yes, we do. You're right. Thank you for bringing that up.
And then do we have to, we probably have a process we have to do to.
That's another facts and conclusions thing that has to go
Facts and
out.
conclusion.
Yeah, then we vote on that, and that gets given to Steve. So I can do write that up. Yes, I need a motion to avoid too, Paul gets back. Well, actually, Paul can't vote on that one.
Why?
He wasn't at the sidewalk.
Oh. Oh, yeah, he wasn't.
Dan was. Yeah, so he cannot.
So this is going back to Cadwallader. You said? Yeah. Oh, if anybody's interested, a building permit is now.
Okay, let's, as a question, a good question. Paul, I'll have to ask you to refrain from this one because you was not on the sidewalk from the Cadwallader's review, so.
Okay.
It'll be just the.
Yeah, that's fine.
The board that was there. The application from Mr. Cadwallader for 6 Landing Lane for a 12,500 square foot lot containing a house with deck, patio, shed for storage, driveway, walkway for access. Proposed construction will be complete demolition of current home with subsequent reconstruction on foundation with cross wall. Reconstruction will be materials based on current structure and efficiency standards. The existing footprint will not be changed. That is the application. What is your action on this?
We are denying it
Okay.
based on.
This would turn
Yeah.
into a relocation.
Okay, so
Yes.
we need a motion to. How you want to word that?
Well, we have to deny his application as written
Due to.
Because.
due to, in order to perform the job that he's specifying, we would have to do a relocation
To meet the best.
to beat the best possible location.
You gotta write that down so you can get the right words in here.
So he.
You know what we're trying to say.
Well, it's important it's written down correctly.
Yeah,
That's why
it
I
did
wanna make sure.
not meet
The best
the
possible.
current shoreline zoning ordinance.
Let's see.
Are they not they're just, that's what he said tonight, he's just not interested in the relocation, turning that building in any way. Even keeping the same footprint when we were able to keep his septic and his well intact, he just wasn't interested.
No, he's done.
Due to relocation requirements. Application denied as presented due to.
Application denied as presented to, the proposed does not meet the current shoreline zoning ordinances without
It's
a
gotta be-
relocation of the best
it had to be relocated, and he was not willing to relocate.
Yeah.
He was not willing to shift the position of the building.
Mm-hmm. Can you read that again? What do you get?
It won't be relocation, it's That's the word. Oh, it's because it's total demolition, so it means it would have to be a
Reconstruction?
reconstruction. Is the word. Is that how they put it in the?
I think so.
I'll be awful glad we get that new one. Reconstruction or replacement,
So how did you have that so far?
actually, conditional approval order, because it's not in our ordinance.
Should we just have him try? Instead of us to.
He said he could do either one.
Right.
He said that he could just withdraw his application.
I don't think this is going to be too hard to do. It's just a matter of getting the right words. Application denied is presented due to the proposal does not meet current conditional approval order 4809 Town of Lebanon zoning ordinance for reconstruction replacement.
Jeez.
Okay, application denied as presented.
That's where I'm going with that too. 40 what?
Requirements. 4809. Application denied as presented due to the proposal does not meet current conditional approval order 4809 Town of Lebanon showing shore zoning ordinance reconstruction replacement requirements. Then in the facts and conclusions, I can explain the relocation requirement. Total amount of floor area and volume of the original structure can be relocated or reconstructed beyond the required set point area. No portion of the relocated or reconstructed structure shall be replaced or constructed at less than the setback requirement for a new structure. So, basically where we're at.
Right.
So, somebody want to make that a motion?
Can I have the piece of paper that I can read off of?
Right?
Right?
And then can I have it afterwards?
I make a motion that we deny this application as presented due to the proposal does not meet our current conditional approval. I don't know what that word says. 4809.
4809.
Town of Lebanon reconstruction in a replacement requirements. You wanna read that just to verify?
Application denied as presented due to the proposal.
Yeah, that.
Oh, no, it's good. Does not meet current conditional approval. 4809. Town of Lebanon. Reconstruction and replacement requirement.
Shoreline zoning ordinance. That's what I was missing.
SLZ.
Shoreland zoning ordinance, okay.
Yeah.
SCO.
Let me
You
read
got
it.
it right there. You do have it.
Okay.
I
We
just
just
couldn't
didn't know what the
what
initials
that
were.
meant. We're
Yeah,
like,
it looked like 520 actually.
Okay. I make a motion to deny the application as presented due to the proposed does not meet the current conditional approval ordinance 4809, the town of Lebanon. What's that?
Shoreline zoning.
Shoreland zoning ordinance. Reconstruction and replacement requirement.
Section 12C3.
Section 12C3.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor? Go for it. Okay. Any other business we need to discuss this evening?
One other piece of paper. Is that elements of the code enforcement authority? Is that something we had to review or just for our information?
Just information.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Good information.
Yeah, limits of the planning board.
People ask silly questions of the code enforcement officer.
Okay, and you wanted to touch on
I would
subdivision.
like to talk about that subdivision,
Yeah.
just because I'm not 100% clear on
No,
that.
that's fine, that's fine.
It's where's my subdivision guide? Okay. So I know that you said this already went through legal.
Yes.
I just want to be sure I'm clear.
You good?
I'm good. So. When we were looking at that map that they presented, it was 2 lots that they were breaking that up into.
Yes.
But because it was multiple houses, it fell under the subdivision rules, correct?
Yes.
Because there was multiple houses on one lot. It was 2 lots. One lot had one house, one lot had 2 houses.
Okay.
Right?
So far.
Okay. So,
Well, I'll take that back. Original thing was 3 lots, 3 houses. That was the original request. And that's when the ball started rolling, that this was a subdivision, not a non-subdivision type situation.
why were
that's what it's
they
saying.
not allowed to subdivide it to 3 lots with 3 houses? Because they haven't owned it long enough?
No, they could have if they wanted to go through subdivision.
Okay. Why did they not want to go through subdivision?
Cost, that's what he said tonight.
Money,
How much is a subdivision?
they have to have.
That's what they
He's
needed
not
to
sure.
know.
That's kind of what he was asking, because if he can still make the numbers work with doing the 2 houses and then looking at 2 years, but he's doesn't know what needs to be done with the road. I mean, he could have to put $100,000 into the road, and all that stuff. So that was what he was saying. He had that was the questions he kind of wanted us to see if we could find answers to.
He wants to know what it's gonna cost him to do that. And I can't answer the one on the road, that one,
No.
road issues always seem to be a nightmare.
Trying to remember what's the difference between this one and wasn't there one up on last one and we were gonna do a site walk? Remember it was up on County Road, wasn't it? Or This Depot Road. Going up
Depot?
towards, it was going up towards
Oh,
Acton.
Milton Mills.
Yeah, Milton, yeah, it was headed towards Milton Mills. And wasn't that the same? Remember somebody
Situation.
owned the property and it was different? I was trying to remember if it was the same.
I might still have that because I never cleaned this out.
Oh, okay.
Those people lived on it forever.
Okay, so it is the length of time of the other issue too on this being a family piece of land.
Well, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If he'd owned the land, then he could have given it.
Right,
for
okay,
5 years.
so
He
that's,
could've- he could've
so
given it-
that's,
he could've
it's the
given it-
length of ownership that's the other issue here.
Well, that's the other part.
Yeah, okay.
When he
Now I
says
understand.
that his houses are being delivered already, he's putting 2 properties on 1 lot right now.
Two buildings
You
on
didn't,
one
you didn't
lot.
say that quite what you wanted to say, but
I didn't?
no, 2 properties on 1 lot.
Ah.
That might be real estate, and I don't know. But
No, it doesn't mean anything. That didn't make any sense. He's putting 2 structures, 2 houses on 1 lot right now because that he didn't divide that lot in any way.
That plan had a division, right?
Well, I thought that's what he said. He was. That was the
Yeah.
potential.
I'm looking for my detailed map here. Here's the entire lot to start with. Okay?
Yeah.
We've now cut it into 3 lots. That's what he did originally. But because you cannot cut it in 3 lots without going through subdivision, this is 1 lot. And then this lot and this lot are still considered 1 lot. So we have a 2 lot division now.
Mm-hmm.
But we're taking the center out of it.
Okay.
So you're gonna have a house here and a house here.
So that's 1 on each lot
on each
right
lot.
now.
And then you'd have to wait 5 years to build it without doing a subdivision.
I thought you could have, if you had enough road frontage and enough acreage, you could have 2 houses on 1 lot.
Yeah, probably. You can.
So would he necessarily have to subdivide that? To put his 3rd house on?
What he was
Later on?
No, like if he wanted to do it now. How come he can't do it now?
Because it's just 3 dwellings.
He said that the rule was kind of vague, but it said either 3 lots or 3 houses would be considered a subdivision, whether they're on the same lot or not.
That's where I'm hung up.
Yeah, that's where it's kind of a little confusing, and he said it was confusing with him, but he didn't want to go through all the hassle of finding somebody to actually decipher it. Say, okay, this is exactly what it says.
We did read that in
Yes, but it said if they were owners in common. That's where my question was. If he broke that off and now it's in somebody else's name, it's not in common. So then he could do 2 in common, 1 not, and then it's not 3. That's where I'm confused. That's what when I was reading that.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't know that much about that either.
Well, I'm just reading it right from here.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I asked that question, I said, well, it already went to legal.
Right. It's been ruled on. Which is why he canceled his house.
So he's just looking from us what he'd have to do to meet subdivision approval.
Why did they rule it out? It would be nice if they could give us some type of information on that so we know going forward. Because I'm still not clear on it. And if something like this gets presented to us in the future, I'm still not clear on it.
Right.
I don't remember which page I found that on. Where did I find that?
Per legal's opinion, they're basing it on the state definition of a subdivision, which is the same definition that we have. Number 4, bottom of the page.
Which one, number 4?
Yeah, bottom of the page, what you're looking at. Placement of construction of structures or structures on a tract or parcel of land is only 3 or more dwelling units within a 5-year period. But bear in mind, this is one piece of land that we're now splitting, and then you're trying to, it's almost like you're trying to circumvent the system.
Okay.
Because it was, he bought
One piece
this,
of land.
he bought one piece of land, then he went and divided it.
But it says, hey, they overrule what I have to say, but I just want to make sure I'm clear because it says 3 lots or 3 houses on one single
Okay, so let's take
tract or parcel.
Let's just take away the fact that he split the lots. If that was just one piece of land, could he put 3 houses on
No.
it? Okay.
But where he took the middle out.
No, hold on. So you just told me if it's one piece of land, he couldn't do that.
According to this, no.
Okay, so then he went and divided it into 3 sections.
He divided it into 2 sections.
2 sections. Well, originally it was 3.
Mm-hmm. 3, yes, subdivision.
Okay.
But if he puts it into 2.
So what's the difference? If you divide into 3 different pieces of land, you can't do that. It's a subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put 3 houses on there, there's one big piece of land. It's still a subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
So
But if it's split into 2.
Yeah, so you're trying to circumvent the system. Because you're trying to do
Is
both.
it circumventing the system? Because it's allowed.
You're doing it all at the same time. Well, I'm guessing by legal, they're saying you can't. I hear you. You know, I'm not arguing with you in the sense that it's a way it reads.
I know it's the way it reads because it's like, okay, if he had originally come in and said, hey, I'm gonna cut this into 2 pieces, I'm gonna put 2 houses on one lot, 1 house on the other lot, they'd be like, good, great. Because it would work. But because that's not what he said when he started the process.
You could be cutting the land and doing the house at the same time. I don't know. That would have raised a lot of red flags.
Would it? Because you're allowed 2 units. He would have enough frontage and enough acreage according to ordinance.
Well, it sounds like one code enforcement officer agreed with you.
I read it in the book that you can have.
No, the book's got the same definition. Right? Yeah.
Now, how does the road work where it's private?
That's what I don't know.
Okay.
You know,
because it's more like a glorified driveway, right? Serving.
Well, this is supposedly a 50-foot road, so I don't know if this road was discontinued
Okay.
You know, which is like
Yeah.
Pork Street up there, and you got Pork Street that goes a certain distance as Town Road, stops, and then it's discontinued road after that. So does a discontinued road still meet?
Do you have that list
Because
of
people
roads, Jen?
build subdivisions all the time, right? And it's considered a private road and not to be accepted by the town, right?
No, if it's building a subdivision, and the road into the subdivision, then it has to be up to subdivision standards. If it goes into the subdivision. But now we're talking about building on an existing road. Now it's a house, no problem.
Yeah.
But now we're talking subdivision.
So it has to achieve certain standards.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's a 3-house.
And it's still all one family that's.
Yeah, no. But granted, you know, you could sell out, you have 3 houses for sale.
Yeah.
It's discontinued up into that end of the tar, the pavement.
So it was an existing road at one time.
You'd have to see his deed and see if it's listed as a right of way or what.
But it's a maintained road on the paved section. Am I right?
It must be, if it's paved, I'm guessing it must have been up to the property line.
But then when the paving stopped, it's discontinued.
R4 43 Cross Road 2 through R5 Drive. Yeah, that's the place to look. This is when your regulations sometimes get you up.
Then, you need a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
I could have used a magnifying glass that,
Yeah, for that one there.
Old Ryfield Road, where the heck is
Yeah.
that?
And that was okay.
But even to go into a subdivision, we'd have to have, same thing we always have, survey,
Yeah, full set of plans.
full set of plans, surveys.
So his
So
deposit is
that's-
gonna, and it sounds like he already just lost the deposit on the
I
house.
feel like he could have not lost that deposit on the house had he gone forward with the subdivision.
Knox Lane.
Because he said he lost
Yeah.
$20,000 on that
Yeah.
house,
Yeah,
and
but
this may have only cost him $5,000 or
But the
something.
delivery is now.
So then you can,
You could pause the delivery. Is the house even made yet? It's pretty bad.
boy, you
I believe it is.
yeah.
He said the other two are coming in a month or something.
Yeah.
They'd hold one for at least a little bit for you,
Do you see it?
especially if you had money down there.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It would have taken us.
Oh, yeah, it should be on R5.
To get that through.
We could have done it quick.
Oh, wait, R4, I'm sorry. It makes a difference.
Rochester. A big road.
It's right there. Okay.
Ryfield Road. That's gotta be his parcel right there,
This
right?
is probably,
You're right.
Right about what, David?
It's gotta be his parcel right there.
and this must be the neighbor that he was talking about across
Right.
the way, so this must be a right of way into, at least to there. Cause that's where it kinda looks like it stops.
I thought he said
So
the
it's probably
paving
discontinued from
stopped
there.
just before, a little bit before his land.
Yeah, just told it before.
But it looks to me like it's discontinued from this place, cause it's like double line goes to single line to here. So
You could
maybe
be
that's
right.
why, because either it's a right of way from there to here, but it looks to me like where it discontinues is right there because it goes from double to single.
But he said beyond that, where his land was, wherever there. I thought he said it didn't go any further. Cause that's where they was gonna put the loop on the end of the road.
Yeah.
So why would he go all the way to the end of the road So maybe the end of the double line.
That could be where he's going to, because that's kind of where he showed the neighbors, and then he said that there was going to be like a turnaround here.
Yeah.
So this discontinued part must be just grown back up or something. But it looks to me like the road continues to, at least to the neighbors across the way.
Well, I think it continues on to Barley Road, right? Doesn't it say on that piece of paper there that it continues on?
It does.
Through R5 to Barley Road.
So it must swing around.
Yeah, well, it shows, but, I mean, but it looks like it's just continued from here, but it must come back out. And where's Barley Road?
Barley Road. Lower Barley. I would think it would be right about.
It's R4. What's that? Maybe this one
is
coming
R5.
in? Right
It's
here.
Acorn Lane.
Is there any other business that we need to transact this evening?
I don't think so.
Gentlemen?
Not that I know of.
Anything? No? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Oh, you have to.
I'm you, Sandy, Sarah, all in favor?
Jen might want this back. So, well, it's still nice to be able to